everyone, it's Tyler Stroke from Universal Rackets, and today we are going over how to hit a perfect overhead. If you watch this whole video, regardless of how high someone lobs the ball up in the air, you will know the exact tips and tricks to execute a proper overhead. So let's get started. The number one reason why players can't hit an overhead is because when they go back to the ball, they go back like this. Once again, I see the ball up in the air and they go back like this. Notice when I go back like this, where's my chest facing? My chest is facing forward. I'm like a tin soldier, and the ball's going to go directly into the net. So again, the ball's up in the air, I'm like this, I got it, and here we go, it goes in the net. Instead of facing forward with your chest, all you're going to do is make sure that you turn your body sideways. Once again, when the ball's up in the air, the first thing that I want to do with my overhead is make sure that my body is sideways. Now, since my body's sideways, now I can make proper contact and get the ball over the net. The overhead is basically the same stance as the serve, except instead of you tossing the ball up in the air to yourself, the ball is coming to you. So again, step one is this, okay? Notice the second thing, okay, in order to hit a great overhead. Notice where my non-dominant hand is. My non-dominant hand is pointing to the ball, right? I'm not like this, right? If my hand drops, where's my body going? My body's going down. A lot of players, their hand's not involved, so when they swing, their body goes down into the net. Instead, you want to keep this hand up to not only guide yourself to the ball, but to keep you going up first and then down so you can get the ball over the net. So make sure that you guys are like this every single time. Now, a lot of coaches, they say point at the ball. They say, oh, you want to point at the ball when you make contact before you make contact with the overhead. And pointing, I think, is completely stupid, all right? If you point to the ball, it's going to do nothing. Instead of point to the ball, all you're going to do is you are going to catch the ball with your non-dominant hand. So by pointing the ball, it's kind of hard to get under it, right? Instead, if you think that you're catching the ball with your non-dominant hand, that's going to align you directly under the ball. So have your partner, have your coach, have whoever lob the ball up in the air, and you just catch the ball with your non-dominant hand. Then once you get comfortable with that, then you're going to pretend you're going to catch, and then you're going to hit your overhead. Now the next tip, okay, and I did that on purpose, just kidding, I didn't, but getting into the next tip is you want to make contact out in front and away from your body. You don't want to make contact too low. When you make contact with this overhead, you want to make sure that your arm is fully extended when I hit. I'm not making contact here, I'm not making contact here, I'm not making contact back here. I'm fully extended every single time out in front. I am feeling a stretch in my lat and then I'm coming down. So how do we ensure that we hit our overhead up and out front every single time? It's easy. All I have to do is make contact with the ball early. Think, the later I wait for it, the more I wait for it, the lower the ball is going to drop, right? Because of gravity. So instead of waiting for it, I want you to go up to it, all right? Take it early. Be impatient, all right? Don't let the ball come to you. You go to the ball. Now, in order to keep the ball out in net, not only you're going to keep your non-dominant hand up, but the next thing I want you to do is after you make contact, you're going to keep your head up, okay? A lot of players, they either drop their non-dominant hand, their ball goes in net, or they drop their head and the ball goes in net. By keeping my arm up and by keeping my head up, that's going to allow me to get the ball over net. So make sure you keep your head up. Now, the next thing that we have to do with our overhead, okay, is make sure that we're always moving on our toes. A lot of players, the ball's up in the air, I got it, they stop, and then it goes in the net or they can't hit a good one. Think, guys, the ball is not coming straight down at you. It's coming towards you and down at you. So you continually have to make adjustment steps and move before you hit it. You can't just think you got it and stay here because, again, the ball's going to keep on coming back. So turn, point, and move on your toes, then hit. Once again, how do you hit it overhead in 4 steps? Turn and point. Step 1 is turn, step 2 is point. Move on your toes, and step 3 is hit, and make sure you keep your head up. So again, I'm turning sideways, I'm pointing at the ball, I'm catching the ball, right? I'm catching the ball with my left hand, and then what I'm going to do is keep on moving, make contact out in front when I hit, and make sure that I make contact early, right? So if you can A, make sure you're sideways on your overhead, B, make sure you take the racket back and you turn, point or catch the ball, keep your head up, continually move, keep the non-dominant hand up, you will be able to make better contact with your overhead. Now, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know in the comments below. Make sure to check out my Instantly Improve My Serve, Instantly Improve My Forehand. Many copies were sold, only $29.99. Solves all your forehand serve problems. And make sure to follow me on Instagram, Tennis with